Two sets of inflatable airbags located at key points on the chassis allow for a smooth ride and assist the truck with its heavy hauling duties.
The driver is actually able to hit a switch when he has a full load on, then he's able to hit the switch and readjust his suspension to the suspension height control to handle a heavier load.
To build a truck like this, everything must go according to plan. If a part doesn't arrive, or an installation is delayed, the whole build grinds to a halt. So a complicated build like the Titan gets its own personal mechanic.
I brought this back behind here. They had it in front to see. The red one might be long enough, but the black's too short.
When it comes to building Titans, Mike Weaver is Mack's secret weapon. A crack mechanic that knows this truck from bulldog to bumper.
That positive cable there. How much will the black reach out there? Guys like Mike, they know pretty much every job in their area. They have a good basis and understanding of how it takes to build a truck from start to finish. So there's a confidence level when you throw one of those guys in there to help out.
Mike keeps an eye on the chassis work, while Brian heads back to check in on the cab. Back on the cab assembly line, the Titan moves into the light stand. It's time for this truck to get some bling. A series of LED clearance lights and two sets of massive chrome air horns. On the road, you'll have no trouble hearing and seeing this bad boy coming. The Mack truck assembly plant is like an army. To survive, managers must keep it constantly staffed and resupplied. There's no room for delays.
Hey Brad, Kevin here. Holly Snyder, she's got jury duty today, so she will not be in.
We'll send over John Freisel to the Z line.
Some of these lines, what you're looking at is under a 6-minute cycle time, so very critical to get people moving right away to get them into this position so you don't miss anything.
John and Kevin get a handle on the day's staffing issues.
That puts us even for the day.
Yes.
That's amazing.
But the next challenge is always just around the corner.
With that group, it's, excuse me. Go ahead.
My crane's not working this morning.
Okay, Dave, who's been called and are they on the way?
The crane that places cabs on the sleeper line is malfunctioning, and with just minutes to go till the opening siren, John needs to get it up and running quickly.
What is the status right now?
A delay now would stop the Titan build and put the squeeze on an already tight production schedule.
I came in this morning and the switch wasn't operational. That track is vital to getting the right cab lined up and ready to mount on the chassis.
Electrician, Thomas, please come in. Thomas, come in. We have a problem with our turnover up top. Can you come over and give us a hand?
Stoppages can be costly to the bottom line. So a dedicated team of mechanics like Thomas Wright are on call to respond to any problems.
We're always aware of the dangers, but also we have to try to get the plant up and going as quickly and safely as possible.
Today, it's a simple fix. He locates the problem and corrects it within a few minutes.
Once we found that the power line was clear, we replaced the fuse and tried to re-energize the system again.
With the crane up and running, production is back on track. Across the floor, the Titan cab gets ready for its dashboard. A mass of wires and circuits that make up its nerve center.
The whole truck can be programmed right through this. We hook up a laptop, we'll program the engine, all the components it needs, ABS, even the radio gets programmed.
Today, veteran Mark Connors mans dashboard prep. But as a member of Mack's Flex team, he's trained to fill in just about anywhere on the line.
I've done every single job in this line. I think it's probably the only person that's done that. I can go anywhere, do anything, and that's pretty much what we do. Someone that's not here, going to do the job, just step in, step up, and take care of business.
Mark's vast experience gives him a unique perspective on the product he's building.
It's just amazing to see all these thousands of parts for a vehicle that can go down the road. And the best part is, we do get time to drive them. Like I'll work down the final fix of the trucks, and go out and drive that is the best. You hop into a 605 horsepower Titan and take it out for a test drive. Oh my God, the power is incredible.
With the prep work complete, the dashboard gets placed in the cab.
Hey!
Each job on the line is timed down to the second. It takes a certain personality just to survive.
If you're not a person, that can move fast or quick, then this isn't really the job for you.
At 62 years old, Debbie Miller is an unstoppable force.
Fuel tanks, I put in air lines. I used to fill the big tokens on the chassis with the gear oil, so I've done an awful lot of different jobs here.
Keeping up with her is a full-time job. Proof that on the Mack assembly line, it's more about hustle than muscle.
Okay, on to the plunks, and then it starts all over again.
Mack's assembly line relies on its workers, not automation. It's a function of the product they're manufacturing.
When you offer the kind of customization that we do at Mack, where essentially every truck that goes down the line is unique, it's almost impossible to fully automate your processes.
Workers here are proud that all Macks sold in North America are made in the USA.
A lot of us take a lot of pride in these trucks. You know, they're handmade, custom made.
For a business in the manufacturing industry, it's a label that doesn't come easy.
We think that we can remain competitive building trucks here in the United States. But to do it, we have to work harder and we have to work smarter than our competition that's manufacturing in lower cost environments.
That hard work is evident on the cab line, where they fit the Titan with its side view mirrors. Around front, they begin installation of the headlights. While most work here is done by hand, a few jobs require a little extra help. These mechanical assists take the grunt work out of difficult installations. They help install the Titan's heavy windshield quickly and efficiently. Once in place, workers seat the gaskets into the frame by extracting ropes built into the rubber. A few careful whacks, and it's on its way. On each side of the cab, workers place two massive chrome filters. They help set the Titan apart from other Mack products. But they're not just decorative, they're also functional, serving as the Titan's primary air intake. The cab is coming together. Across the plant floor, the Titan chassis is making a similar transformation. A trip through chassis paint, and the Titan is ready for its exhaust system. Now the Titan chassis is ready for its most important addition yet, the heart of this beast, the engine. This is the biggest engine Mack has ever produced, an inline six-cylinder monster that generates the Titan's 605 horsepower. The process begins with a cast iron engine block. On the assembly line, they place the major parts by hand, where critical components are installed with a precision only a machine can attain. Next, the engines hitch a ride on an AGV. These roving robots carry the engines through a series of manual stations. The AGVs follow wires buried in the factory floor and time the movements of each engine perfectly. Once at a station, they can lift and rotate them for easy installations. Over the course of several hours, an army of technicians build up and inspect the engines. Most of these techs have been with Mack for years. But for many, the relationship with the company extends even beyond that.
Back in '62, my father was hired here, and right after that, his three brothers became employed here. So at one point in time, my dad and all his brothers were employed here.
Aaron Eichelberger installs timing gear plates on the MP engines. He's been at Mack for 12 years, but his memories of being a Mack man go back as far as he can remember.
Going down the road when I was little, Dad would always tell me, now there's one I made getting to blow at you. We would always do this, going down the road, and the truck drivers would always just blow the horn and wave.
Aaron's family takes great pride in their work and in the company itself. It's a pride his father took with him even after he retired, and his uncle beyond that.
Back in 1990, my dad's brother, Buck Eichelberger, was killed in an automobile accident. When he passed away and his wife had his tombstone made up, she had the Mack emblem inscribed into his tombstone to let people know how proud he was of where he worked at.
Once Darren finishes the timing plate install, the engine moves on through a series of manual stations for finishing. Then takes to the air. After applying a standard coat of Mack Red, it's ready to ship off to the Macungie plant for installation. But first, selected engines get tested in Mack's new state-of-the-art engine lab, located right next door.
Initiate test. We have cell power. Engine will start.
Here in the lab, engineers put the NP series engines through the ringer, running them at temperatures and RPMs they would rarely face in the field.
1635. You're hot. 1635. Bring it down. You already hit the limit.
We push these engines to their very limits so that we can be sure that this engine is able to deliver what our customers demand.
During the day, the workers at the lab and on the factory floor run a serious operation. But after hours, some of the engineers and technicians get together to blow off a little steam. Mechanic Craig Morris and engineer John Gibble might seem like the odd couple, but when it comes to getting the most out of a vehicle, these two are a match made in heaven.
We rented the local dragway as a morale booster, and, it's a Mack truck, you have to take a truck down. And we didn't want to take a stock one, so year by year we did a little more to it, and this is the finished product.
Combining technical savvy and hands-on mechanical ability, these two came together to create one bad drag racing machine.
Most of the time we spend our days squeezing fuel economy out of engines, but today we get to have some fun and squeeze some power.
Craig and John have a big race coming up, so they're hard at work getting the most out of their rig. Their latest idea, switch out the double rear tires for a single wide one. It'll save some weight and give them a little more jump off the starting line. The only thing left to do now is fire it up and take it out back for a test drive. To improve performance, they've removed all the standard emissions controls. It makes this rig fast, but not clean or street legal. So on a strip of blacktop on company grounds, John and Craig put her through the paces. It's a great practice run. It won't be long before they really put her to the test at the racetrack.
You got her dialed in good. Ready for the drag strip.